OMV Pakistan, Meher Gas Field. Meher Gas Field is a joint venture of OMV, OPL, Xavier and GHPL. The field is operated by OMV Pakistan, an Austrian-based integrated oil and gas company. Meher Field is located in Khambar Shahdadkot district, about 51 km away from Meher city on Indus Highway and about 400 km north of Karachi in the Kirthur area of Sindh and Balochistan province. OMV operates and maintains gas fields having extensive network of pipelines, roads, wellheads, drilling rigs, central processing facility and residential camp. Health, safety, security and environmental matters are equally important for OMV as all other critical business issues. And we ensure that everyone who works for or with OMV should go home in good mental and physical health. OMV is signatory of UN Global Compact and pays special attention on sustainability, human rights and environment. The well-being of our employees, contractors and visitors is our primary concern. To help us to operate safely at all OMV premises, please observe following rules. Upon arrival, all individuals must report at Main Security Office and collect their T cards, visitor cards and sign their names in the register. These T cards should be placed at main entry gate and muster points. To ensure safety of personnel, please remember to return your T cards and visitor card to security before leaving field. T-card system is essential for head counting and recovery of persons unable to reach his or her muster location during emergency. All visitors should inform security staff about person to be met. An escort will be arranged for new arrivals. Roaming without escort or host is strictly prohibited. Contractor, visitor, employee is supposed to inform field doctor if he/she is on continuous medication, so that he/she could be dealt with an appropriate way. Smoking is only permissible in designated areas in camps and offices. No one is permitted to carry cigarette, lighter and matches or any other arc or spark-producing devices in process areas. Photography is not permitted without obtaining permit, as flash may introduce fire in potentially flammable areas. All personnel must comply with minimum PPE requirements when on work. This includes coverall, safety shoe, safety glasses and helmet. Other specific PPE requirements are site-dependent on nature of job and are clearly identified by PPE signs and posters. Use and transport of illegal or illicit drugs and alcoholic beverages on company premises is strictly prohibited. Possession and introduction of firearm, deadly weapons and explosive are strictly prohibited in all OMV premises. In all circumstances, it is important to be prepared for an emergency. In case of process-related emergencies, alarm operates automatically. However, if you observe fire, explosion, major oil spill or major gas leakage or found anyone's life in danger, activate emergency management system by calling on emergency number 555 or inform control room on radio. If phone or radio is not available, operate nearest manual call point. The emergency response plan is in place and contains all the procedures to follow. Alarm will be sounded to declare the state of emergency. The alarm will sound like this. The alarm is also operated for emergency exercises and drills. Upon hearing alarm, everyone is supposed to stop work in safe manner and report to their muster point. Once at muster point, take out your T-card from on-site board and place in muster board. The muster checker will take the head count to ensure everyone is present. On declaration emergency, site emergency response plan is activated and contains all procedures to follow in case of emergency. Site Incident Management Team called IMT comprised of Field Management and headed by Field Manager, assembled in Emergency Command Center ECC, who supervises and coordinates all emergency response activities by various emergency teams. In case of medical emergency, there is 24 hours medical facility available at field clinic. If medical evacuation is required, then visitor may be mobilized from field to hospital. Please report all hazards and incidents in care application. Please familiarize yourself with care application. Care application is available to everyone at all online workstations. In order to learn care, please contact your host, supervisor or field HSSE section. You can ensure your safety if you are aware of major hazard on site. Beware of high-pressure flammable gas, unstabilized condensate, toxic gas, high ambient temperature in summer, snake and scorpion bite. Drink plenty of water and fluids to avoid heat exhaustion or any other heat-related illness. To prevent you from snake and scorpion bite, wear closed shoes and avoid going in dark areas. While traveling outside or inside facility, no visitor is authorized to drive OMV vehicle. OMV permit holder driver who are trained in defensive driving technique shall accompany visitor. Seat belt is must for everyone. No seat belt, no movement. There are speed limits not to be exceeded in any circumstances. The site-specific speed limits are: drivers are not allowed to use any two-way communication device while driving. When there is need for driver to communicate, he will pull over to paved shoulder and communicate. All OMV vehicles are installed with IVMS system to monitor and record driving habit and vehicle tracking. One of the key aspects of HSSE program is an open culture. We share knowledge with everyone and ensure incidents are promptly and accurately reported. So, if you observe any unsafe work or unsafe condition, please stop the work whether you are an employee, contractor or visitor. We would like you to be aware that we have responsibility to ensure safety of ourselves and people around. We would not do anything that will harm in trust of our employees and stakeholders. Living accommodations are provided at Meher Gas Field to all its extended stay visitors and contractors. Extremely hygienic measures are taken for food and water to ensure safe stay. Always keep your valuables locked. Switch off AC, heaters and light while leaving your room and contribute to OMV Energy Conservation Campaign. All part of Meher facilities are under strict security surveillance. CCTV cameras are installed at strategic locations to monitor activities in and outside facility. Based upon vulnerability to job hazards and statistical data from OMV Global Operations, the company has developed 8 HSSE Golden Rules to avoid incidents to work sites. These 8 Golden Rules are: Ask, Risk Assessment, Permit to Work, Working at Heights, Lifting Operations, Housekeeping, Stop Work, Transportation Road Safety. Golden HSSE rules form a list of mandatory and non-negotiable conditions of work. All persons working for OMV shall understand and accept these as a condition of their employment. Ask. Ask when in doubt. Before starting work, think. If you need clarification, just ask. Ask your supervisor. What are the risks? What is the work plan? Which situations could arise? Where to go? What to do? What to do in case of an emergency? Is there any special PPE or monitoring required? Risk assessment and management. Work will not begin without risk assessment and safety discussion appropriate for the level of risk. All persons are trained and competent for the work they conduct. PPE will be worn as per risk assessment and minimum set required. All controls identified to minimize risks of activity shall be effectively implemented and monitored. Permit to work. Permit to work is required for working in process and non-process area, including confined space entry, lifting operations, working at height, work on energy system, excavation activities, for hot and spark potential work in potentially flammable and explosive environment. Permit to work system defines accident analysis trend of E&P industry has shown that more than 50% of fatal accidents are caused in following activity: confined space entry, working at heights, energy isolation, lifting operations, excavation, handling of chemicals. Confined space. Entry in confined space cannot proceed unless all other options rule out. Certificate for confined space is issued. Condition of permit: certificate to all affected personnel and posted as required. All persons involved are competent to do the work. Testing of atmospheric condition verified and repeated as defined by issuing authority. Confined space entry attendant is stationed. Unauthorized entry is strictly prohibited. Energy isolation. Any isolation of process, mechanical, instrumental, electrical, hydraulic will not be proceeded unless the method of isolation and discharge of stored energy and lockout by a competent persons. A system of lock and tags is utilized at isolation points. A test is conducted to ensure isolation is effective. Isolation effectiveness is periodically monitored. Excavation. Work which requires man-made cut, cavity, trenching, hole, or depression in the work surface is not proceeded unless hazard assessment of work is completed by the competent person. All underground hazards such as pipeline, electrical cable, and other underground hazards have been identified, located, and if necessary isolated. Where persons are to enter in excavation, the confined space entry certificate shall be issued if entry meets the confined space requirement. Ground movement is controlled and prevented by systematically shoring, sloping, and appropriate. Chemical handling. A COSHH control of substance hazards to health procedure is in place in the company to aware all employees about chemical exposure and to determine their level of toxicity. This information is available in MSD as prepared for each substance. Working at height. Falls from height are a major cause of work-related fatalities and injuries. Any activity of 6 feet or above must not proceed unless a fixed platform is used with guard or handrail by competent person, or fall arrest equipment is used that is capable of supporting at least twice the weight expected to be imposed upon it. Lifting operation. Lift requiring crane, hoist, and any other mechanical device will not commence unless an assessment of the lift has been compiled and the lift method and equipment has been determined by competent person. Operator of lifting appliances are trained and certified for the lifting appliance. Rigging of load is carried out by competent person. Lifting devices and equipment has been certified. Any safety device installed on lifting equipment are operational. All lifting device and equipment has been visually examined before each lift. Housekeeping. Housekeeping is not just about cleanliness. It also includes keeping work areas neat and orderly, remove of waste materials and other, for example, fire-causing hazards from work areas. Paying attention to the layout of the entire workplace, marking and maintaining the adequate storage facilities. Clean desk policy at office workplaces. Stop work. Everyone in OMV is authorized to challenge or stop the work activity that conflicts Omv Hsse policies or is unsafe or non-compliant in accordance with Omv Hsse standards. Responsible person for work is informed immediately by the observer about potential risk the work has been exposed to. All stopped works are only restarted if unsafe or non-compliant situations have been removed or mitigated. Transportation road safety. Road travel safety procedure developed for safe transportation. Any journey cannot proceed unless vehicle is inspected and confirmed to be in safe working order. Vehicle should be inspected by competent person. Suitability and safety of the vehicle is assessed by drivers prior to any journey. Drivers are trained and formally authorized to operate the class of vehicle. Driver training program for driver. Monitoring system shall be installed in vehicle. Regular defensive driving training program. Passenger numbers do not exceed manufacturer design specification for the vehicle. Seat belts are worn by all occupants. No movement is allowed without seat belt. Two-way communication devices such as mobile, radio, Bluetooth are not in use by driver. Please familiarize yourself with Omv Hsse 8 golden rules and follow it during your stay. Process safety. Omv is working on process safety for managing the integrity of hazards operating systems and processes by applying good design principles, engineering, and operating and maintenance practices to avoid an unplanned or uncontrolled loss of primary containment of any material, including non-toxic and non-flammable material from a process, or an undesired event or condition that, under slightly different circumstances, could have resulted in a loss of primary containment of a material. HSSE meetings. HSSE committees meetings are regularly held and require participation of all employees. These meetings provide informal and open communication to discuss HSSE issues. HSSE committee meetings are formed at field, section, and group level. Remember, safety is state of mind. Omv wishes you to return home in good mental and physical health.